What's up, everybody? Josh from Squad J Games here with a spicy deck that might help you guys this weekend if you're planning on seeing a bunch of androids. I've got a local player here. His name's Alex. He does really well with this deck.
I've come in first in two locals and second in the second one. With this deck, it's been performing really well against pretty much everything I've run up against. The only time I'm losing is usually because I'm tapping out when I shouldn't be.
Alright, so yeah, just want to go through the list.
Yeah, so to start off with, everyone's probably going to be thinking about why this leader. And the reason I use him is because he just cycles through his deck like Pan, but unlike Pan, he gets it whenever he needs to. It's not contention at the beginning of his turn or anything like that. So obviously the first card we got in our deck, Intensifying Power Trunks, one of my favorite cards of the set, and it leads right into my second favorite card of the deck, Chain Attack Trunks. Definitely a 4-up for both of those. We're going to need this whole deck is about board presence and basically creating an environment where your opponent can't keep cards in hand and they can't keep cards on board. So getting out Intensifying Power Trunks early is going to be fantastic things to do. You don't really even need to swing with them unless you really need to get yourself down. Just having them on the board. A lot of decks nowadays really aren't running removal for this stuff. If you don't swing in with your leader, so you don't get cheesed out by full power energies, they'll stick around a turn and you can really get your stuff going quickly.
Sweet.
Yeah. So the biggest surprise I think I had with this deck was how much I enjoy the Goten engine as well. The 2-drop, surprisingly versatile. When you drop them in, you're never going to be out of energy. And it lets you get some of the more awkward cards out of your hand. Say if you had an extra Supreme Kai and you didn't need it, or a Zeno and you don't think you're going to have to reset the board state, drop it down, becomes a 1-cost 15k, and it turns into honestly one of the best swingers in the game.
Sweet. Yeah, that seems pretty OP.
Yeah, I don't know why no one's running this. It feels really good to do, and especially synergizes with this leader, because dropping cards doesn't feel bad in this deck.
Yeah, I bet.
Super combos, very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I had Champas in here. As soon as the new set dropped, I got some good advice to switch those out for the Supreme Kai. If nothing else, that cost one less if I ever needed to, get that last swing in there, and I can chain attack them out on Champa.
And you can get them foiled.
And I can get them foiled. That is a big thing.
Yeah, that's the
I
main
do love
play.
me some of these guys. First attack, Gohan. Fantastic card. Goes so well with this deck. Between drop that, and if you're awakened on your leader's turn, you're drawing four cards just off of 2 attacks. Feels very good to do. Plus, if you get them off with a Supreme Kai, real cheesy way to drop 2 life on an opponent when they're not expecting it.
Yeah, that's because if your leader's well, I'll let you get to it.
Yeah, so the leader, if it has 4 or less cards in hand, and you're on the awakened side, when you swing in with your leader, it actually draws 2 cards and it gives you a +5k bonus on your leader. Very similar effect to Pan's, where you end up drawing 2 cards a turn, but since it's a lot easier to manage when you get those cards, it makes cycling through your deck extremely fast.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have a ton of cards at hand at any time, but you're going to be putting them out so quickly that people are going to have to start really using their hand to keep up with you, and you can always fill back up at the end with your leader.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah. Digging Deep Vegeta is probably the best way to get to your awakened side if they're really, just trying to stall you out. Honestly, it's a really bad idea versus deck trying to stall them out, because we have 7 cards that can take your own life, so we can always get down to 4.
Yeah.
So if they ever try to stall you out, it's fine. Just get some extra energy, flood the board, and they're going to be very sad.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a great way to just have more swings. A lot of this deck has multiple swings in it, or can attack active mode cards. That's kind of the whole idea. Since there's so much barrier in this deck, almost all of my bigger cards have some sort of way to get it past barrier. Because I was tired of it. I didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Like all of us out there, we're over it.
Yeah, I'm tired. Tired of all this barrier. They gave us the tools to get around it, but no one was looking at them.
Yeah, now we got it.
We got it. So the next part, these are all kind of what my 15k targets with chain attack trunks. I got an absolute ton of them in the deck. You're never going to be without a target to chain attack in.
Yeah.
So for the other two, I wanted to put in, like I said, some ones that can get past barrier. I have been very happy with the Majin Vegeta, the new championship one. He does a great job of clearing board, and he stands himself back up beforehand, so you can't get hit by explosive.
Right.
That never happens in this day and age. It gets past it. A lot of this stuff gets past it. Kaba, fantastic way, especially against yellow. You drop a Kaba, swinging with him first. That means they can't flying Nimbus it, so you get another 2 attacks at least with your extra cards.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Plus, again with him, got a Red Sand as my leader. Swing in some more battle cards. They're never gonna have a board against you.
Yeah.
Chain attack, we already talked about. Not only is it one of the best cards to generate value in this deck, but it also attacks active mode battle cards. So going right into the same thing here of board control.
Yeah, right. You thought of everything.
I did. I mostly just thinking about hitting their cards with my cards. The Extra Strike Sun SS Sun Goten is absolutely fantastic to do. You drop them early, you get yourself down to 4 cards. You start swinging for the fences with him. He stays at 25k permanently as long as you got 4 or less cards in hand, and he has dual attack. So there's not any target that this guy doesn't want to be hitting. He can destroy apes. He'll destroy any little weenies that they need to keep on the field, like veggies, Kabas.
Right.
It especially does well into stuff like Announcer and even the new World Tournament stuff, because they get they got some pretty good, nice big barrier cards, but unless they got the 5-drops, they're not staying out of turn versus this thing.
Right.
The hits here they're game enders, but honestly, this is probably my least used card of my deck.
Wow.
Yeah, it's surprising because it's such a strong card, but because of just how the deck works, all it is focusing on is medium-sized, mid-range stuff. I don't really need hit. I don't like tapping out 4 for something. Nothing else really needs it. So I don't like hit unless it's gonna end me the game. If they have a couple cards, and especially if they are a U7 deck, it's pretty great to get those Roshis out of their hand.
Right.
But outside of that, usually energy.
Sweet.
Yeah. Unbreakable Son Goku, obvious combo card. Some extra super combos are never gonna go wrong with this deck. You're gonna have extra energy because a lot of times you end up playing a Goten to get your hand down, leaves you with 1. You don't want to tap out, so on their turn, if they're kind of half-heartedly attacking you, you get a free card out of it with Unbreakable. So probably the best game ender for me is going to be my Miraculous, because of the just too many chump blockers that people got going around. This just completely gets around that issue. 25k swinging into your leader that you can't block. Well, you can block. That's not going to really help.
Right.
is fantastic, especially with this deck because you're gonna have 4 or less cards in your hand guaranteed. So you can drop 2 of them down, swing in with your leader again, go back up to 4 cards if you need to. And it's just a very easy way to end out the game. And people don't expect it nowadays. People don't see the miraculous anymore.
Yeah, they're down to $5, which blows my mind.
Yeah, I feel bad for buying those at like 16, but got some use out of them. Then we got the Zeno. If things ever aren't going your way, Zeno your way back to life. This is the only time I consider tapping out on either 3 or 4 is if I'm in a losing state and I just need to get some control back. I actually kind of like doing the Zeno, the chain attack Zeno, because what happens is we both draw 5 cards. Say I'm awakened, I'll swing in with whatever I have if I do have a field.
So
I'll chain Zeno,
right.
leave the Zeno out, swing in with Zeno, combo 1 card with them, so I'm back down to 4, swing in with leader, and all of a sudden I'm at 6 cards.
Right.
And they're down, and they still have to defend against the Zeno attack or just take a free life, basically.
Yeah, that feels bad.
It feels real bad. Dimensional Banisher Fu is for anything I don't feel like swinging into, and also just for another cheap 1-cost double striker.
Right.
If you can ever get down to if you ever get your opponent down to 2 life, that's pretty much game over, because between Hit, Gohan, and both the Fus, it's really hard to live through that.
Right.
Or even your Extra Strike Sun Goten with a surprise double strike on it from Supreme Kai.
Oh, this is just an annoying deck.
Yeah, never go down to 2 life versus this deck.
Yeah,
You're not gonna have a good time.
And it'd be good into Cell just because Cell gets you down to 3. You don't care.
Yeah, anything that has hand destruction, it's just hard counters. If they get you down to 3, they get you down to 2 with the super combo. You'll just go right back up, drop down a burst attack Gohan, swing in. You go from 2 to 6 cards on a turn. It's awful.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Plus they have to defend a 20k attack in the meantime.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, yeah, the obvious, and then to end it off, the obvious the obvious negate for me is going to be Unending Awakening. I don't really usually have 2 energy for Tapo. He's pretty fantastic, but I feel like I already have enough board removal. And tapping out 2 for that when I can do 1 for Unending is not so great. I was thinking about Vados just because a lot of these cards are really fantastic to keep around.
Right.
But since a lot of them have dual attack, like our Vegetas and our Goten, you just attack once, leave them standing, and you'll keep your board state going pretty strong. It's really hard to get through all of those guys.
Right.
People can usually pop maybe 1 or 2, and that cripples a lot of decks. Not this deck, because there's always more threats coming out right behind them.
Jesus.
So yeah, that kind of brings me to the main philosophy behind the deck. It's just to grind out your opponent. You're never gonna have more cards than them at first, so it's okay to burn through them to get to new cards, because eventually they'll start having to use their own resources to stop the attacks, to combo out of them, and stuff like that. Whenever I'm attacking, I don't really ever combo myself unless it's a critical turn or I'm trying to end the game. Because outside of my Gohans, which I get stuff for even if you block it or negate it, all my other guys are 25k, 20k, or more. So you're gonna have to be dropping resources on every swing.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I very much like how this deck ends up just outlasting even decks like Announcer and stuff like that, where they have this huge 15 card hand. After a full turn of this stuff, it gets down to 5 or 6.
Yeah. So what would be your worst matchup?
My worst matchup, thankfully, is leaving, which would probably be Super Saiyan 3. Um, Super Saiyan 3 yellow stuff is really annoying. I really hate Nimbus because this deck thrives on just swinging a bunch of times.
Right.
So Nimbusing it and then comboing out of one attack, it really hurts my game plan. There's not a whole lot of yellow in the format outside of Storm. So although they can Nimbus, they're hurting themselves so much that even the few other attacks I get off are going to be threatening them a lot more than Super Saiyan 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The whole point of this deck, as aggressive as it looks, it's actually a really good defensive deck. Because you're not wasting your resources on your attacks. You're going to have 6 cards and usually an energy 2 on your opponent's turn to defend. So Unending Awakenings and your super combos. Most of the entire deck is also 5Ks. So you're always going to have some combo fodder.
Right.
And it doesn't feel bad to use the combo fodder because you're just going to get more resources next turn.
It seems like it's got a pretty tight-knit strategy. Combo, get down to 4, draw, combo some more.
Yep, pretty much. So you always, it's a little different than most decks because you want to swing with your leader near the end of the turn. Because a lot of your resource cards, your Gohans, your Gotens, your other Gohans, they require 4 or less. So you combo down, get to 4, get all of the goodness that comes from those cards, then swing in with your leader, replenish your hand, pass turn.
Yeah. That's actually awesome. I can't wait to try this deck out.
Yeah, I've been having a whole lot of fun with that. Red has been definitely my favorite color since I started the game, but it's fallen out of favor for a while now. I'm glad it's back in a format that isn't Super Saiyan 3 plus the Kefla.
Awesome. You got any parting words for the people out there going out to Atlanta this weekend?
Use this deck. I love it. It's a lot of fun. It's going to do really good against a lot of the stuff that's out there right now. There's a side deck, a bunch of stuff that you can put in there to kind of tech it to what you need it to. But this is, I mean, the main deck is going to do exactly what you want to do, which is killing your opponent and, never dying yourself.
All right, y'all heard it here first. First place is going to be Sun Goku and Energy Burst Sun Goku. I want to see you guys out here playing this deck. Let us know what you think in the comments. Alex, thanks for joining us. Squad J Games, out.
Absolutely.